ho, ho, ho. It's game 5, baby. We got to lock in. We got a lot going on. But welcome into the stream. And hopefully you're having an awesome Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. I know I am. And we have a lot to jump into in this stream. And so we are going to first start off with our normal DFS kind of activities and look through some prize picks, underdog, better, pick DraftKings pick 6, look at Dabble, and showcase some different plays, better. And then we're going to jump into some arbitrage plays. And then we'll look at some sharp money plays. And then I'm going to go through the positive EV tool. And there's definitely a big update that is coming up soon. This is going to be a teaser. I'm going to be giving you guys a sneak peek, a little preview of what's to come on the Plus EV tool. So it's not live yet, but it will be, and it should be next week. So first and foremost, let's get into it. Trent, how are you? Let's take a look. So here we go. All right. So we're over here on the OddsJam Optimizer. You know, if you guys have tuned into streams in the past, I would normally also showcase the Daily Grind Fantasies AI Slip Generator. And, you know, over the last week or so, I just really like seeing all the odds and seeing what's out there and looking through each play with maybe a fine-tooth comb. So my preference right now is to utilize the optimizer, lean on the optimizer a little bit more, because while the AI Slip Generator is awesome, I just personally like to inspect each play instead of just blindly taking some plays. So let me refresh the page here. We're starting off on PrizePicks, 3-man entries. And we see these combo plays. I'm still willing to play the combo plays. Derek White, Evan Mobley. This is over 39 points. This is 21 cents off to FanDuel, which I really like. And this is like insanely off to Pinnacle. Now, we can make the argument that maybe Pinnacle is a little too far out there. They're too bullish on this play. But irregardless, if you look at all the other recreational sports books, this is just a slam dunk over here on PrizePicks. So we're going to grab this one. I'm also going to grab the Anthony Simons Mobley play, and I'm not going to grab the Pritchard play. We're going to grab these two right now off the hop. So let me get into this. We're looking at what? Derek White, Mobley, more on points. Probably can't do Simons and Mobley. I can probably only pick Mobley one time, so that's kind of a pain in the butt. What else do we have here? I don't have any minimum data points at the moment here, guys. Ossard, yeah, literally has been removed. It literally just got removed. I mean, dude, it was barely up there. Barely up there for, I don't know, 20 seconds. She gone. Evan Mobley and Simons appear to be gone as well. So if I go with Simons, all the combos are all gone with Mobley. So that's gone. So let's refresh this once more. Yep, everything left. Let's take a look at the league. We have a lot of NBA games going on. Saints fan, what's going on? What's going on, Christopher? Tripping. Pie Hayes, did they finally remove him? That's good to know, because he had been struggling, mightily. Master Cool, what's going on? Garrett, afternoon to you as well. All right. So I'm going to say this probably like 3 or 4 more times before we actually get to the tool. But what I'm about to show you on the Positive EV page in a little bit is a teaser for what's about to come. And this is going to be available for all Platinum members. So I'm just kind of perusing here right now. I can get in on this Mobley play. Right? So what I'm about to show you guys here in a bit is not live. It's not live yet. But it will be, and it should be next week, which I'm very excited for because it's long overdue in my opinion, and I'm very, very pumped up for it. Okay, yeah, this Walker Kessler play. We're looking at under 25 PRA. I'm going to try to so instead of me talking through all these plays, guys, and just wasting a bunch of time, I'm going to try to find 3 plays, rapid fire, get them off to you. Basically what I'm looking to do here, so that everyone then has a chance to actually copy this. That's the goal. We're looking at over. Okay. Bingo, bango. All right, this is going to be the slip here, guys. Bang. Okay. Share it. And then go. There we go. Made a very risky play, Billy. Raptors, Nets, plus 12.5 ATM. All right. I'll have to take a look at that one. There's a 3-pick entry on PrizePicks. So we took the Conley play. I like the Conley play. It's 22 cents off to FanDuel. Pinnacle has his line at 16.5 at minus 102, so you have to imagine they're bullish on the 15.5. I took the Walker Kessler play under on his PRA. FanDuel and Pinnacle's at 24.5. Getting this at 25, that extra half does make a bit of a difference to me. And then Evan Mobley, where is he at? He's up here. We took his under on his points and rebounds at under 31.5, which is, that's 2 off to FanDuel. Now, while it's not a great price to BetMGM, honestly, I think BetMGM is not difficult to beat as a sports book. So I don't have a lot of trust in this line from them, but I do in FanDuel. So there we go. Jay, very kind of you to say. MP, yeah, hard to say, man. I'm not sure what's going on with Alex. Hopefully he's all right. RIP. Maybe he's traveling a lot. Maybe he's working. Maybe he's taking a well-deserved vacation. Hopefully he's taking a well-deserved vacation. So that's a 3-pick slip over on PrizePicks. Let's take a look at Underdog. I think since I got limited, all my boosts now are gone because I was getting like boosts on the regular for them. Might have to tap into that P2 account. Might have to tap into the P2 Underdog account. All right, so I don't have any minimum data points set up. Let's go with a 3 spot. Let's see what we have. Again, this is OddsJam's Optimizer, guys. We're just kind of taking a look at everything. Okay, points and rebounds now. FanDuel's at minus 158. So we already bet this once. We just bet this on PrizePicks. So I'm not going to go after it again. Donovan Mitchell under on his points and rebounds. I still really like this. Joker on his over. Yeah, let's get into some of this. So again, I'm just going to shut up and try to just rip through this and share it with you guys immediately. It's probably the quietest I've ever went in a long time. Remember, make sure no insurance on these plays, guys. No insurance on this. Let's share this. All right, I did stay away from Donovan Mitchell, which you could play Donovan Mitchell if you want. I took Denny Advida. This is way off to FanDuel. It's 14 cents off to Pinnacle. I don't mind that. Then I took Joker over on his rebounds and assists, which I never mind betting his overs. You could take the Mobley play. You could take the Spida play if you wanted to. I took DiVincenzo under 4.5 assists, as it's 20 cents off to Pinnacle and it's 10 cents off to FanDuel. Honestly, I don't know why I am, but I'm just a little scared on Spida because Donovan Mitchell, the thing that I always worry about betting unders on stars like this, Donovan Mitchell can put up 33 just points. He doesn't need the rebounds. So I'm totally fine if you want to put the Mobley play on this, but that is a 3-pick entry over on Underdog. All right, so I'm just taking some screenshots here for my own record-keeping purposes. 6-man entries. Let's look at 3-man entries on Better. And again, same kind of script. So hopefully you guys were able to tail the PrizePicks and Underdog plays. ATM, well, I mean, the only reason I was playing $5 on PrizePicks ATM is because that account that I was using, I was limited to just $5. That's what I could play. So without saying it, if I'm able to use a PrizePicks account and bet more than $5, right? Partnerships. So, yeah, I mean, the reason back in the day when I was making $5 PrizePicks slips, dude, it wasn't because I wanted to. It's because it's all I had. That was the only thing I could do. But normally I would say when it comes to, if you're playing 3-pick entries, I would recommend somewhere between a quarter to a unit to maybe at most a half of a unit. Because these are all still parlay based and they're still 3-leg parlays. So they're kind of tough to kind of figure out what's what. Okay. Let me double check on Underdog. I'm just off to the side here on my other monitor, guys. I'm just taking a look at Underdog NBA. Just seeing what's alerts. Injury management's available to play. Jaylen Brown. Okay. Donovan Mitchell's downgraded to questionable, so he might not even play tonight. Got the Rockets lineup. Again, guys, highly recommend following Underdog NBA for any of your news and what's going on. Nothing really breaking other than 7 minutes ago we found out that Jaylen Brown is available to play Wednesday, but it's injury management. And Oscar Thompson's questionable. Okay. So this Austin Reeves play, I like it. Again, if we're waiting to kind of find out what's going on with the Lakers, you're going to have to wait a little bit later because this game starts later. So again, it's a little bit of a, you're playing with fire a little bit since we don't know who's in or who's out. But the Reeves play I definitely like, under on his rebounds and assists. What else we got? Okonkwo, it's really good to Pinnacle. Over on his PRA. So I don't mind taking Okonkwo. Is that 22? Yeah, 22. Jamal Murray, the over 9, man, it's like 8.5 is really heavily juiced. A little bit more maybe on Grayson Allen. I'm going to go with the Grayson Allen play. Feel like this could be maybe not smart, but we'll see. Under on 3.5 3-pointers made. Again, this is going to be a perfect play, guys. So make sure you grab that. And I will share this with you guys now. All right, so we got a PrizePicks slip. We got an underdog slip. We got a better slip. Luka's out. Yeah, 49er. That's the problem here with the Austin Reeves play. That's the only problem with that one. No problem, MP. No problem. Yeah, that's the only problem. So if you don't like Austin Reeves, that's fine. FanDuel still has this at minus 152. I like the Okonkwo play. If you want to sub this in with Jamal Murray and Grayson Allen, that's fine. Also, Terrence Mann isn't a bad idea. Again, though, where you're taking some overs on 2 guys, so maybe that's kind of negatively correlated, even though they're playing against each other with Okonkwo and Terrence Mann. So if you want to take Allen, Okonkwo, or Allen and Mann, and then Jamal Murray, I'm totally cool with that. Or Anthony Black. Like, it's a couple different things. So we're going to go with that one. And then I'm just going to cook up another better slip, guys, because I want to make sure I grab some of these guys, these dudes. Am I able to type in here? Yeah, there we go. So we're going to grab Anthony Black under PRA because I like it to Pinnacle. We'll go with the Murray play. And then we will go with also Terrence Mann. So this will be like a separate slip on its own. This is going to be over on his 12.5. Okay. Perfect play, and I'm rocking these. I'm just rocking them for like $25 a slip right now. I could bet more, but not really interested in dealing with the variance, guys, and the variance is pretty real. Okay, there it is. So there's 2 different slips on better that we just hit up there. So let's take a look at anything for flip for my flip people. Do we have anything at all if I throw in 3 minimum data points? Colin Murray Boyles over 5.5 boards. No FanDuel, no Pinnacle, so I'm not like super excited. But compared to these rec books, guys, this seems to be a really good play. Like Fliff is just out to lunch. So for my Fliff people, I don't mind if you want to throw something on here. 3/4 of a unit to a unit on this play on the over 5.5. This, normally I wouldn't recommend this play, but just these rec books here, this is just way off. And so it's just too good to not just to pass up on that one. Okay, we'll move on from there. Let's take a look at DraftKings Pick 6. Love that. All right, we got a couple nice slips in there. DraftKings Pick 6. Again, a lot of NBA games going on tonight. RJ Barrett. Yeah, I don't mind this RJ Barrett play. I think I'm logged in. Not logged in just yet. So I'm going to just fire this up over here on Pick 6. I shared earlier, guys, in a tweet, my 30% profit boost. So, if you guys haven't used your 30% profit boost, then this would be the time to do so. But we're loving that. And so I definitely like RJ. This is on his PRA. Cool. I don't think we have any. Yeah, I choose my boost. That's basically, make sure on Pick 6 you have 2 choices, guys. You could choose a Major League Baseball boost for Pick 6 or NBA. Honestly, I don't know why you would use your MLB slip there personally, because there's 1 game. So your options are very limited on that MLB game. Whereas in the NBA, there's like 13 games going on, and there's a lot of goodness. You can find a lot of really good stuff here when it comes to that. So we're going to grab that Colin play That's just, more opportunities, guys. The more options that are available for you, the more advantageous that is for you as the sports bettor and less of an edge that the sports book has. I'm really just going to go down the line with these first 3 plays. Barrett, Boyles, and McDaniels. All right, let me share this as well. So we're getting in some slips, getting in some DFS. There we go. There is the pick 6. Just taking the top 3 plays here from the optimizer. I just like these plays to FanDuel. They're just off. FanDuel sitting at like minus 115. We get an extra point, rebound, or assist here in the under. Same with Colin Murray Boyles. It's really the same song and dance, right? Pinnacle's at 23.5 at minus 110. We get this lowered at 22.5. Could be the difference between a win and a loss, guys, to be honest. If we look at the rest of the board, Kamara, yeah, I'm fine. We're going to go with another one here. If you guys will indulge me, we'll throw another pick 6 entry up here, and then we'll look at Dabble. And then we'll talk about some of the other tools. So I'm definitely holding on and teasing the big update that is I'm very excited about. Looking at what the under 19.5. So we're taking 3 unders here. 3 unders and 1, and then points and rebounds. They just bumped this one to 13.5, so that's toast. We got the Hawks, we got the Blazers, the Rudy play. What's another play that I can get behind? Yeah, we already took a Hawks player, though, right? Yeah, we took Nikhil Walker, so... All right, I'll go. It's fine. I'll go with Rudy here. We'll check this one out. All right, so this is another slip that I'll share with you guys and throw it in here as well. All right, so we're ripping through some slips, which is nice to see. For my Dabble users, here's what we have. If we're looking at 3 pick slips, that's disappointing for Dabble. Not as I thought it would be a little bit more robust in terms of this board, but not really the case. Donovan Mitchell, though, this is way off to FanDuel. It's okay to Pinnacle. I'd still be willing to take this play over 4.5 assists. Again, though, we talked about he's questionable. Put that in, so maybe you lean another way. But again, I'm okay with the over 4.5. Keontae George, yeah, I like the under on his points and assists. That's well off to FanDuel. Again, guys, I've bet enough on MGM. I've had more success betting at MGM than FanDuel. So if you're looking at it and saying, Billy, I don't understand why you're taking this. It's not very good to MGM. I think MGM is a cupcake of a sports book. It's a walk in the park. You can make a lot of money off of them. So the fact that MGM and Dabble have very similar odds actually provides me a bit more confidence because I know that MGM is very beatable. So I can get behind. I like the George play more than Mitchell just because of the injury news. Mark Williams, don't really care about that one. Jalen Wells, yeah, I can get behind the extra point for Jalen Wells. A little bit of insurance here. So I go George, Wells, maybe Spida. If you didn't want to take the Spida play, then I go Wells, George, and... yeah, this plays fine. I like it more than Brown just because we can see that there's Pinnacle's odds are here. Probably maybe the Jalen Johnson play. Jalen Johnson, 16 cents off. That would be my other option. First 2 gone, John. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Try to refresh. Yeah, they're gone. So... yeah, Akuji, however you say his name, I'm fine with that one. And like I said, Jalen Wells and Akuji, they're fine, right? This is really, guys, this Dabble board's on the borderline for me. Like, yeah, don't really want to have to play it, but maybe then Jalen Johnson or Nurkic. That would be maybe what I would go after. Okay, let's take a look at the arbitrage tool. Again, if you're looking to arbitrage bet, this is a really solid time of the day to arbitrage NBA player props. Yeah, it's on, no doubt about that. No doubt about that, man. They're one of the first books to limit, and I don't know if this person is on the stream or if he's listening, or he or she's listening right now. But I had someone DM me today and was like, "Yo, man, I just got limited on MGM betting an under on a player prop," and this was probably around 4 hours ago. And so, guys, I always try to think about, a lot of people don't understand why they get limited. But if you're using a software, remember, you have an edge using a software like OddsJam. Use code Billy35. You get 1 week free trial, 35% off your first month. But the idea here is that how many casual sports bettors are betting unders on an NBA player prop? First, that's like the first thing to say is how many people just bet unders? Not many. It's a straight wager. You're betting an under, and you're placing it under on a player prop for a game that probably doesn't start for another 6 to 8 hours. So all of those things in combination, and then if you repeatedly do this, that's how you get limited. Now, there's this fine line where I want to make sure you're making money on these books, and MGM's a book you can make money on. But, people, I understand if you're new to sports betting, you don't really understand how or why you're getting limited. But all of those factors that I just mentioned equate to you receiving limits from the softer sports books, right? So at this time of the day, right, this Cavs game, this starts in 40 minutes. This Nets and Hawks game starts in like 70 minutes. These are all plays for arbitrage or just positive EV betting if you're looking to bet unders. This is where I give you a green light to bet unders because you have to bet it at some point, and this would be the time to do so. So this is the optimal time. If you can set this time aside on your schedule for arbitrage betting or plus EV betting for NBA player props, this is where you'll still get limited by the sports books down the road, but you might have a little bit longer of a time, longer runway, if you will, with that account by placing bets closer to tip-off. So this Luka Garza plays all over the spot. If you guys, for those of you I'm speaking, OGs, DGens know this, but for those of you that are new to arbitrage betting, we're day trading the sports books. This isn't made up, BS that you see on TV. It's real. It's legit. You can make money, right? This left-hand side is your return on your investment. The more money that you invest in this trade, the more money that you make. I prefer to call this arbitrage trading, not arbitrage betting, because betting would imply that you're taking on risk. And as long as you execute the strategy correctly, then there is no risk. So this is really just day trading the sports books. So if you look at maybe Hard Rock and No Vig from Michael Porter Jr., my man's grabbing 3 assists or more tonight. That's what he's getting, or he's getting 2 assists or less. So depending on how much money you can invest in this play, again, the more money you invest, the more money that you can make. Now, something that's important to note, there's only $19 available on No Vig. Again, not all of these sports books operate the same. A book like No Vig is an exchange. There has to be liquidity available in order for you to bet it. Different story if I look at Eamon Thompson between Props Builder and Hard Rock. These are 2 traditional sports books, so you can wager more money. Now, with player props, guys, I like to keep the wager sizes under $250, sometimes under $200. This is a massive underdog here with Eamon Thompson, so I'd say keep this at like $100, maybe $150. But if you bet $100 on Hard Rock, just bet $215 on Props Builder. No one that bets over $100 bets $114 or $211. Nobody does that. So bet $215. That's a little bit more realistic. End your bet sizes in 0s and in 5s. Because again, it's all about giving the appearance to the sports book that you are just a casual bettor, right? So no one bets $77. Just figure out a number, right? Figure out a number here. This is why I like to play around with the calculator. Figure out numbers that work. Okay, 75 and 160. Like, that's real. What if I bet 150 here? Oh, I could bet 70. These are all like legit numbers. Nobody bets $13 and nobody bets $128. So think of these as 0s and in 5s. And nobody, damn sure, nobody bets $70.02. Just round these numbers. First quarter point bets, Ken. Fanatics is way off. So if anyone in, I don't bet it a lot, Ken. Great question. I would definitely say if anyone in here is willing to share their insights, please do so. I definitely think you can do maybe some advanced stats and analytics on pace of play and first quarter pace of play and possessions to get an idea if you're looking to bet an over or an under. But I don't have many bets in my history or in my log betting those overs and betting those unders. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just jump into what I've been really excited about. That honestly, in my opinion, it's been long overdue, but it's finally here. So again, what I'm about to show you is not live and available right now. It will be next week, and it will be available for platinum users. So if you are a platinum user on OddsJam, this will be added to your functionality. And this is custom weights, custom EV betting. We've now added the EV formula builder. So as you guys know in the past with the DVIG settings, typically we were boxed in. We were boxed into a couple of choices, right? We could go with OddsJam's recommended book weights, OddsJam's, Big Mac McDonald's special sauce. Or you could just pick one of these books. But now you can use a blend of these books together. So there's more customization available at your fingertips. So if you believe that a certain sports book or a couple of books are really sharp for a certain sport, league, or market, you can now add this in. So the first thing that we want to talk about is you can have a maximum of 10 leagues, okay? Meaning that you can pick up to 10 leagues. So I would pick the NFL and college football. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't pick MLB baseball right now. There's 2 games, and by the time that you guys have access to this, Major League Baseball season's over. I would go NBA, college hoops, right? I'd look at the NHL, and then this is where you can kind of go off script, right? I probably would select, and again, you can create custom filters for each custom formula. So this doesn't have to be all of them, right? If you just want to make one type of filter, right? That's what I would do. And then you would just come over here and you would set up your odds range, right? But first, the next thing that you would do, guys, is that you could set up your books. You can select your books here. If you don't want to just go off of the main books, maybe you think FanDuel's really sharp. All right, you can do that. So maybe I say, you know what? I don't want to use Bookmaker and I don't want to use BetOnline, right? I just want to use Circa. I just want to use Pinnacle, and I just want to use maybe FanDuel, right? So let me come back over here and select these books to make sure I have everyone there. So let me come down here and I'll just say, yo. And again, the reason that this isn't live yet, guys, is because we're still working out some kinks. So if everything doesn't work according to plan, it's because we're still working out a few things. But I wanted to showcase to you guys how it kind of looks. So then here's our 3 books, okay? And we could say, all right, listen, I think Pinnacle, we could weight these. And if you guys have used other competitors in the past, this is very similar, where you could say, you know what, maybe it's all 3s, okay? 33% across the board. Or maybe we go and give FanDuel a little bit more and Circa and Pinnacle a little bit less, right? Then you can scroll down here to the bottom and you can say, you know what? Only show bets when the book weights reach this threshold. So right now at 50%, we are going to require Pinnacle and FanDuel, or Circa and FanDuel, or Pinnacle and Circa. If I drag this down, it's going to say, hey, if FanDuel or Pinnacle or Circa has this play up, we'll take it. If you take it all the way to the top, we need to have all 3 sports books available, right? So again, you have full customization for platinum members, should be starting next week, that you can now use these plays, right? And now you can find specific plays where that meets your criteria, right? And you can see that the tool's kind of uploading right now. Like I said, it's not ready for live prod, but this is where we're at. So, hey, Pinnacle's there, and Circa's there, and FanDuel's there, and this is definitely then a play that we would want to go after, Malik Washington over 3.5 catches on Hard Rock, right? So this is going to be a custom EV formula. Again, you can then save your filter right here and call this whatever, Circa, Pin, FD, player props. And you can save this. Now this is your specific filter for maybe NFL player props. So there will be a video coming on down the line with OddsJam from me, from the OddsJam channel or my YouTube channel, talking about some of my favorite combinations, right? So this is something that I'm very excited about. But again, it doesn't have to be the sharp books, right? You could clear out all these, and maybe you think that DraftKings and I don't know, maybe you're kind of silly, right? And you think that BetMGM and Fanatics are like really sharp for a couple of things, right? You can select those two books and say, you know what, give me a 50-50 split here of Fanatics and BetMGM. I don't know. Maybe you got something going on that's really good. But you can pick your books. You can pick how you want to adjust this. It gives you a lot of customization at your fingertips. Well, losing streak, I mean, obviously there's going to be a game on Saturday. But by the time that this custom EV formula will be unveiled for everyone to use, the Major League Baseball season will be over. So, no, I'm not implying that, though. Hell of a game last night. Hell of a game. So that's just kind of what's up, guys. I'm not going to be using anything right now at the moment because I need to play around with it for a while. I have some ideas, but I'm not going to go after it just yet. So speaking of FanDuel, let's go FanDuel. And again, we could probably try to use it, but we'll go worst case. Because right now it's still similar to me. I can just kind of go through what's what. We're going to look at some NBA player props. And then we'll look at some World Series player props for sure. Date range is going to be today. And we'll look at maybe a minus 200 to a plus 150. So one last time for the custom EV formula, it's going to be available to all platinum users. And it should be available for you next week. So like for myself, I had to log out of OddsJam and then log back in, and then it popped up. Yeah, let's go with like a minimum of like 4%. Let's see what we have. We got a lot. Okay. Onyx, is this real life? No, not real life on Onyx. So let's refresh that. Obviously a lot of Bovada. So if you guys are just kind of, getting back into sports betting this time of year, for NBA player props, Bovada provides a lot of opportunities, a lot of arbitrage opportunities, a lot of just positive EV opportunities. We talked about this a lot with Hard Rock. If anyone that does use Hard Rock, or maybe your Hard Rock's limited, they offer a lot of opportunities here that you can just play some different boosts and whatnot. Eamon Thompson, okay, interesting. This is an ARB to FanDuel over 1.5 player steals. This is Hard Rock and Ballybet. Again, this doesn't looks like it's showing on Bet Rivers yet, but interesting. If we jump into this play, FanDuel's moved a bit. About an hour ago, though, FanDuel was at plus 138. They've jumped all the way to plus 100, which I really like that. So I could get in on that. I just got hit with pretty stiff limits on Ballybet, which not a shock. It was going to happen. So I don't think I might be able to wager like $10 on this Eamon Thompson play. But we'll take a look. Irish, what's going on? There we go, Zach. Appreciate you sharing it. He said, Zach says Sportzino is great to play first quarter player points. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Okay. So I only have $40 here for this Eamon Thompson play because that's all I have left in the account. As we've been really hitting up a lot of Ballybet plays for like money lines and point spreads early on in the morning. Tomorrow morning, guys, we'll be back with another stream looking at main lines, and then we'll do the player props in the evening. That's kind of how it goes. We're looking for 2 steals for Thompson. This moved to mine at plus 133. Still very EV, which I'm fine going after. I only have $40. Can I get it? Ooh, no, I can't. But I can still get $26 down on this play. So Eamon Thompson, that's fine. We'll drop this back to $26 and we'll take it. Now, plus 133 is still EV. I only had $40 in the account. It's a better play on Hard Rock, but I'll take the Eamon Thompson play over 1.5 steals. Even if you guys are limited over on Ballybet, still worth trying to get down as much as you can. I'm a big believer, guys. If you're limited on MGM and you're limited on Fanatics and you're limited on Ballybet or Hard Rock, it's still really worth it to place those bets for $10 to $20 and rack up the volume because you can easily still make a couple $100, if not more, possibly a month, even just off those bets. So I would definitely still hit those books up. And those soft books, guys, normally, if you've gotten hit pretty hard for pregame limits, check them out for live. You should still be able to wager between $50 to $100 on the mainline markets, and I think that that's definitely more than worth it. Donovan Mitchell, there's only $23 on this. I'm not afraid to just go ahead and grab that. I don't need to deep dive it. $23 isn't much. But as you can obviously see on my screen, being in Arizona, Bovada, Hard Rock, and Sportzino kind of steal the show. Parlay play looks pretty decent as well. So for the sake of just everyone else's interest, I'm just going to remove Hard Rock right now because it's kind of hogging up everything. We go from 135 to 87. Also, this is another tip. If you have some time on your hands and you want to take your girl, I would literally look online to try to find a Hard Rock casino. I know there's one in Arizona, but honestly, if you can find a trip to Hard Rock, you can see my positive EV plays down here, 132 results. Once I click off of Hard Rock, it goes to 90. And even though at the kiosks and the casino guys, the menu is a bit limited because there's so many positive EV opportunities with Hard Rock, I definitely think a little vacation to Hard Rock is more than worth your time. These Sportzino plays, again, similar to Hard Rock. I don't really need a deep dive into them. Sportzino is a cupcake of a sports book. It's probably going to be the new saying for the rest of this year is cupcake, so I like that a lot. Parlay plays popping up a lot with Donovan Mitchell. If I see another parlay play opportunity pop up, I would look to then make a slip. Jalen, we talked about he might be questionable tonight. Under on his PRA. This is an ARB to FanDuel. And FanDuel has been moving a little bit as of recently. But FanDuel's been chilling in like the minus 190 to minus 200 range the whole day. And so this is something that we can grab over on Bet Rivers on the under PRA. This game is tipping off in about 25 minutes. This is pretty much my cutoff time for getting anything in. So again, I have no problem betting the under on Jalen on his PRA because the game's going to start soon. And really, we would look to target games that are starting at 4:30, if not later, because the Rockets-Raptors game is underway. So Jalen on his, this is going to be under player specials, guys. It's not available on Ballybet, but it is available over here on Bet Rivers. And points, rebounds, and assists under, 36.5. IGM's telling me about $400. That's a lot of money. But again, I'm going to probably cut that a little bit lower, but we'll see. So I can bet $249 on this play. Interesting. We'll just make this a $225 spot. I like that movement from FanDuel. So we're in. It's a larger wager for me. No doubt about that. What else do we got? You could bet at 34.5 if you wanted to as well. $700 on Michael Porter Jr. We're going to take a look at the sharp money tool in here in just a second. Plus 107 odds. Again, guys, little things that I like to look for. I just told you that Hard Rock is like a joke of a sports book. So if you see the exchanges hanging a number very similarly to Hard Rock, that's a green light indicator for me all day long, right? And if you can appreciate that tip, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button on this video if you found anything that I've said insightful or helpful thus far. Trying to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It's a lofty goal, but appreciate any and all help, especially if you're finding some insight here. So again, this isn't just with Hard Rock, but if you see No Vig and Profit X with the same odds, and then you see like Fanatics with like the same odds as No Vig, yeah, I'm betting that all day long. You see Hard Rock with similar odds, I'm betting that all day long. Those are really good indicators to me that be like, yeah, I want to bet that side. YCU. Yeah, man, love to hear that. 258, Ken. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that, I can understand for some of these things, it might not be worth your time, right? $2.58 might not be worth it. But always trying to think of different ways. If you guys can pair this on a multi-leg parlay, maybe you can get a little bit more money down. Again, if you're in Ken's spot where it's $2.58 on Ballybet, maybe this is where then you just use Ballybet to start firing off a lot of 3 or 4 leg parlays. Or honestly, guys, if you're limited to less than $5 in some sports books, I know it might be a lot of work, but maybe don't track it on your OddsJam bet tracker, but start firing off like 5 or 7 leg parlays that are plus EV. And even if you can only bet $2 on them, it could be, right? Start firing off some crazy long shot EV parlays where you can maybe turn $2 into like, $500 or something like that. Just always little things that I'm thinking of. I know it's a lot of work, but just thinking about that. Speaking of first quarter player points, this is ESPN Bet. This looks incredible. It's an ARB to FanDuel. Again, this is not a market that Pinnacle offers. That's why we're using FanDuel. But definitely some book screwed up here. Somebody messed up. And I don't mind it if you want to go after ESPN Bet. Now, they did just move quite a bit within the last 3 hours or so, but not a market that I normally go after, but definitely check it out if you want to. If we're looking at Igor, because I see Pinnacles up here. Okay. I like this movement here. Pinnacle went from minus 146 to minus 154. This is one of those plays where I'm betting against a lot of other books. If you were DVigging to Pinnacle, they would tell you to bet the over on this play. I'm going to bet the under. I'm going to trust in FanDuel and that they're very sharp. Again, if I don't have a Bovada account or SportsZeno, I'm willing to play this over a props builder. Anything that's under minus 131 odds is EV. I could also bet this over a Bet 105, which is a Pinnacle skin. They just copy Pinnacle's odds, right? So I'm going to go over to props builder right now, and I'm going to hit this play up on Demon, right? I love this. I'm definitely excited about this play. And this is where I just believe that FanDuel is very sharp for NBA player props. We are less than an hour away from tip in this game. I think that this is where I definitely want to use FanDuel as my best friend. And if that means I disagree with Pinnacle, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. So I'm going over to Props Builder. I can only get this at 119 odds. So if I click on the calculator and change it, it's a 2% edge. I would bet this at 115 to make my $100. It's fine by me. Again, guys, a lot of global books have Props Builder, MyBookie, XBet, BUSR. All those books I know aren't added to the OGM or gone from the OGM ecosystem at the moment, but you can still bet them over on Props Builder. So you still have some opportunity to use those accounts. Minus 120 odds, that's fine. We're going to throw this in, and I'm going to grab this for a 120 spot at minus 120 on Props Builder. Bet Tracker's completely free over here, guys. I'm a big fan of it. Use this. Use the Bet Tracker. It's awesome. Mitchell now under on his rebounds at minus 156. This is insane over here on FanDuel. It's minus 235. Movement here. Yes. Go on Donovan Mitchell. I'm fine with betting the Mitchell play, especially with that news about his injury. Under 4.5. Oh, yeah. I might only have one. Just trying to do the math in my head what I have left. Let's go hit this up somewhere else because I got some more money lying around, and I'd like to bet a little bit more money on this Mitchell play for sure. I'm just going to go over to Bet Online right now, guys. Again, Props Builder, I would highly recommend that you guys check it out. It is great for live betting. It is great for pregame betting. A lot of global sports books have it. Cannot stress enough how amazing that it is. All right, I can bet $200 over here. Okay. There it is. Maybe I broke my run rule because of the Mitchell play because it's so close to tip, but we'll check that out. YCU, is Bovada available in PA for me? It used to be. It's outlawed in PA, but there's definitely ways that you can still use Bovada in a state that says that you can't use it, but not information that I'm willing to share for free on the stream. But again, if you want to book a call with me, one of my coaching packages, guys, more than happy to kind of talk through P2s and how you can use other offshore books in states that maybe you're not able to. Always happy to talk about that. You guys can book a call here with me. Check that out. How does Props Builder work? Yeah, Zach, they allow straight bets. Props Builder is a third-party prop site. So to give you an example, a sports book, I can't show the screen. I can't show Props Builder anymore because YouTube is extremely strict on me showcasing non-legal sports books, right? And since Props Builder is outside the United States, but on a sports book like Bovada or Bet Online or Bet US, you will see on Bet Online, when you go to their website, on the left-hand side, there will be a link that says Props Builder. And so why Props Builder exists, it's also available on Bet Now, is that certain sports books do not want to create their own player props in-house. They don't want to create their own odds. They don't want to have to figure that out. So they just simply outsource that portion, their player props. They outsource that to Props Builder. They're like, hey, Props Builder, we will pay for you to give us your odds. Come on the site. So then Props Builder then provides all the player prop odds for that sports book. So that's what Props Builder is. Some of you guys that are maybe new to sports betting or just not, or maybe not used to the unregulated sports books, that's what they are. So there it is. Let's take a look here. Probably not real life here on this DiVincenzo play, right? Yeah. I'll double check this. If it is, then I'm super interested on Onyx. Shared a play earlier today, guys, over on Onyx. Again, if you tail that slip, sign up with a new account. If you sign up with a brand new account, tail the slip for $10. You get $100 in free bets. DiVincenzo, we're looking at the Lakers. I was already on his under for his assist. I'm just double checking to see if this is actually real. I really only place pregame bets when it comes to, they just bumped his line. So that's gone. That was there, and as I open it up, it's gone. I usually only place pregame bets on Onyx. I don't use Onyx really for live betting at all. So let me hide this bet. What do we got here? Shannon, $180. That just moved a ton. Okay. We got a lot. Let me take a look at some World Series plays here. We do also have, guys, just because it's quick and easy, I'll take a look to see. I think the game already started, though. Did the Maple Leafs game already start or not yet? Not yet. It's at 4:30. Okay. So quickly, I'll look at the player goals. There's only one hockey game tonight. We have one result. Whoa. Okay. So this play doesn't meet my criteria. It's not a high enough EV edge play to take a stab at this one. So, not enough. Not enough. If you have some kind of boost, guys, on FanDuel, then by all means, grab it. But I'm over here checking this out, and it looks like there's a 30% profit boost. Let me see what this profit, as long as it's not an SGP profit boost. Yeah. it's a 3-leg SGP. So, and there's only one game. So again, when you see these profit boosts, again, it's going to be available though for tomorrow, which is good. If you see these profit boosts for the NHL, there's one game today. Like for the World Series, there's only one game. So that's really advantage sportsbook because your options are limited in what you can choose from. But on a day like today with the NBA, there's a lot going on. So you have advantage sports better because there's more options available to you. So I would just hold off on that profit boost. Let's take a look at some World Series plays, or if there is anything at all. Put the minus sign here. DVig, let's go to Pinnacle at the moment, and then let's take a look at just Major League Baseball. And let's look at everything except for alternate markets. And is there anything at all? Okay, Fanatics, Alejandro Kirk. Most of you guys are probably very limited on Fanatics. They might offer like a 25% profit boost or something like that. If that's the case, bet Kirk over on his player bases. I'm in on that. Blake Snell, under on player strikeouts. Throughout the entire regular season, guys, the Blue Jays were top 3 in the majors for striking out the least amount in Major League Baseball. So this is going to be a Bet Rivers, Desert Diamond, any Canby sportsbook, guys, outside of Ballybet. You can see Ballybet's not offering an under, but if you can bet this on a Bet Rivers, let's take a look at this. Normally, pitcher strikeouts, I look at FanDuel as a sharp. Seeing this at minus 130 doesn't give me the warm fuzzies at all. But this could be something that I definitely would want to consider. It's a low hold to Pinnacle. And so this is definitely something that I'm entertained in. And I don't mind going after, but only if you can get this on a Bet Rivers. Because a lot of other books have really moved in different directions. If you are limited on Bet Rivers, but you have access to a Novig or a ProfitX, then I would try to set this up where you could maybe still get this at roughly this price. Maybe offer an over at maybe like a plus 118 or a plus 119 and grab this at minus 118, minus 119. This would be very EV for you, right? You can try to create different wagers. Not every wager is going to be accepted, guys. But again, too many of you only use No Vig and ProfitX to place bets. And I think so many of you forget that you can create wagers on those exchanges. And I think it would be well worth your time to just try it out. Shohei under on his bases. This is on No Vig at minus 105 odds. Yeah, I like this. I mean, FanDuel's offering a one-sided market here, so they think this would be a bigger underdog. So they're really in on Shohei's on his over, which I find interesting. But Circa and Pinnacle are very much aligned on this. I'm fine on No Vig if you want to go after this also in Prime. I bet Vladimir Guerrero Jr. earlier on his player bases. I got it at plus 128. On any of the Canby books, you can get it at plus 123. So I secured a little bit of CLV. But I think this is a very good play as well, taking Vlad over on his player bases. Ooh, one of my favorites. This is an ARB to Pinnacle, the under 4.5. Damn, I'm out of money on Bally Bet. It's minus 130 on Bet Rivers, which is a bit of a difference. It's not as awesome at 130. It's only 1.36%. Bally Bet, though, for sure. This is a great play. And then, obviously, if you guys want to rock some like Fanatics SGPs, you could try this out with Schneider, Muncie, and Kirk. Steven on the games. We'll get there in a second, man. Yeah, we'll take a look. I know there's, I can't remember. I mean, obviously we got a lot of NBA and World Series. We do have, who's playing tonight? Yeah, it's Conference USA. Okay. FIU, Missouri State, Jacksonville State, and Middle Tennessee. So the only problem right now with college football for tonight is that my main sharp bookmaker is kind of offline right now with OddsJam. Appreciate you asking, Steven. Let's see. No player props. And let's take a look to see what we have. So minus 2.5 is a very important number. Again, this is going to be one of those instances, guys. Looks like Bally Bet realized they messed up because they just switched this off. Okay, let's refresh that page. Let's take a look. Don't know if that's still real life, so I don't think that's maybe there. Got some plays here on Missouri State. Again, if you're looking at these two plays, guys, I would always encourage you to get the minus 2.5 compared to minus 3.5 all day long. I think that Bookmaker is a very sharp book that I like to use when I'm betting college football, especially game day. I like to use Bookmaker a lot. And since they are offline at the moment, this is where you just want to pull their plays up and take a look, right? This is where I can just pull up and say, wow, they're taking minus 3 on Missouri State. Bookmaker is. They're taking $21,000 where Pinnacle's only taking $10,000. So I have a lot more confidence in the line for Bookmaker than I do for Pinnacle, because on game day, Bookmaker's taking twice the amount of money that Pinnacle is. So I can't select Bookmaker right now because it's offline. If I do that, all these plays will disappear. It's Jacksonville State minus 2.5. The nice thing is, too, with Bookmaker, they have some alternate odds. Bookmaker's at minus 163. They're taking $32,000. So, and if you guys don't believe me, just create a Bookmaker account. You don't have to make a deposit. You'll get access to all their limits when you click on a play. You can just see it. Yeah, this looks incredible. Hard Rock, this game's starting fairly soon. I'm going to take Jacksonville State minus 2.5. It's juicy, but man, I love a minus 2.5. If I'm taking a favorite, give me minus 2.5 all day long. And again, this game's starting 40 minutes. So this is when you want to take a play. So, again, the main line here is minus 3.5, guys. I would take them at minus 2.5. And they're telling me to bet $180. I would like to bet a little bit more than that. I'll go in for a 250 spot here. And we get Jacksonville State at minus 2.5. So, that's exciting. I like that. Again, guys, when I can see that there's more money down on Bookmaker, and Pinnacle's already bullish on this at minus 175, this is a mainline spread or close to being just as a point off the mainline spread. I have more confidence in these plays than betting an NBA player prop. When we're looking at these NBA player props, Pinnacle's taking like $250, $500. I mean, I got a number here from Pinnacle that says, yo, we'll take 15K right now on this. I got bookmakers saying we'll take 32K on this. That breeds confidence in me in this play that I'm taking. So again, I'll say this a million times this fall and winter. Do not sleep on mainline markets. If someone told you that they would take $15,000 on this bet compared to $250 on a player prop, who you got more confidence in? Obviously, the guy that's offering 15K has a lot of confidence in this play. Oh, look at this. Literally just moved 20 cents. Literally just moved 20 cents. There's no, I mean, Hard Rock, again, cupcake sportsbook, but there's no better confirmation as a sports bettor. All you can do is make the best decisions possible at that given time. And so getting this at minus 145 and then like 2 minutes later, it moves 20 cents in our favor. That's how you know that you made a good decision. Jacksonville State might lose by 40 tonight, but I can rest my head on my pillow easy knowing that I made the right decision at this given time, right? That's all you can do as a sports bettor, guys. It's the same as when you walk into a casino. The casino knows that some people that walk in there are going to get lucky. But over the course of the long run, this is how you make money. And I will get limited on Hard Rock. But if I'm getting limited on Hard Rock, I want to get limited on a $250 main market bet for a game that's going to start here soon compared to a player prop bet for $50. So there it is. All right. Let's take a look at the sharp money tool because we're getting into some player props here. NBA, you know, some games are about to start very soon. Some won't. So let's just take a look at the NBA and let's see what we have on the sharp money tool. And again, we'll set this for a minus 200. We'll go like a plus 140. And let's select all the books. What do we got? Okay. So like Nick Claxton, this play, which again, we're getting dangerously close to me wanting to call it a wrap on this Nets game in terms of just placing bets. But Pinnacle's taking $500 and somebody believes that they want the Nick Claxton play at what, minus 106 odds. And so we're getting this at a great price on Hard Rock. You can also use this, guys, for your DFS books like Underdog, right? Or PrizePicks or any of these. So without Hard Rock being recommended, so we can kind of, again, Hard Rock's a joke. It's an easy book. Looks like we have a play here on Caesars, Westbrook. So someone has $2,300 on Westbrook. And they want Westbrook. This person is offering you over 4.5 rebounds for $2,300. They want Westbrook at plus 115 odds on his under. Now, another reason, guys, that I would really like this play is that, again, you can bet this on DraftKings. You can bet it on Caesars. You can bet it on Fanatics. Anytime that another sportsbook has the same odds as Fanatics, that to me is a green light. And with this type of strategy, there's a bit of a range that I'm willing to go after. So it doesn't have to be, man, if I can't get it at plus 115, I'm not betting it. It means that I'll take plus 114, might even go after this play at plus 110. Maybe plus 110 is kind of my cutoff. But heck, you know, we could still get this on ESPN Bet, on DraftKings, on Caesars, on Props Builder, right? There's a lot of options that we can go after this play. So I'll come over here maybe to DraftKings and place this bet on Westbrook. Onyx is obviously a plus 107. You can double check Onyx to see if maybe it's out there. So for the sharp money tool, because there's one bettor out there that's like willing to bet $2,300, maybe this is a play that I just bet $100 on, right? Pinnacle doesn't have this set yet, but I'm willing to say, you know what? Let's just bet $100 or a unit on this play. I'm more than happy to try that out. So again, guys, with this strategy, I'm not just recommending plays for you to bet. I am placing the bets myself on the sports books. So if you can appreciate this, definitely subscribe to the channel and make sure you send it over to a friend. I've already lost my spot. There it is. Make sure that when you're going to the rebounds, guys, you know, DraftKings makes you scroll down a little bit, go to the over-unders, and we'll just grab old Russ here for $100. And there we go. We're on that under, and then I'll just capture it right here on the sharp money tool. There we go. I'll change this to 114, and we'll change it to DraftKings. Right there. We're on the hour. Steve, anything sharp on the NCAA games tonight? We can obviously take a look. If we're looking just for main markets. So the way I look at this, no, not really. Again, Pinnacle's taking $15,000 on this FIU Missouri State play. We talked about how much like bookmakers taking like double of what Pinnacle's taking. So, the fact that there's $3,700 out there right now, I don't really care. Doesn't really matter to me. If there was $37,000 in sharp money and if this green number was 37,000, yes, now you have my attention. Otherwise, no, not really. Same thing here with this play on Florida International. Now, listen, guys, this play might still be decent, but it's only 4 cents off to Pinnacle. And if I throw open bookmaker, I'd be interested to see. We're looking at FIU plus 3.5. So when I pull this play up for FIU, plus 3.5 is minus 128. Bookmakers taking $25,000. So to get this 14 cents off from bookmaker, I definitely like that. They're taking about 1.5 times the amount of money that Pinnacle is offering. And plus 3.5 is a key number. So I could be slightly entertained with maybe a half unit on the FIU plus 3.5. If we're looking at this over under, again, this is where you can probably get into some really different types of, all these books are going to be slightly different. It's 50 points here on bookmaker. It might be slightly different on Pinnacle. So I don't really have any confidence in these. So not a ton, but FIU plus 3.5, fine. And if I'm looking at FIU plus 4.5, this would be over here. It's minus 148 on bookmaker for $30,000. And it's minus 136. So to get this at minus 125, I do like plus 4.5. This is not a play that I'd recommend from the sharp money tool because it's like a sharp money strategy. I just think it's an EV bet that you can take on FIU. And I'm totally fine with putting something over there on ESPN bet for FIU. Again, plus 4.5 is a key number to have, guys. 27-23, right? We cash that. So it's not a bad number to be on in terms of plus 4.5. Because I want to make sure, I bet the Jacksonville State game. I want to make sure I didn't bet the same game twice. So where are we at? So we're looking at Florida International, Missouri State, plus 4.5. And alternate game spread. Yeah, this is already gone. This is at now minus 140, so it's not there anymore. But it was good at the time. That's pretty much it, guys. That's going to be the stream. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll be on tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Mainline markets that we'll be focused on. Thursday Night Football, we'll see if we can take a look into Game 6 of the World Series, see if there's anything popping. And we also have roughly 1 trillion NHL games going on tomorrow with a little bit of NBA. So good stuff coming up. Check it out. Main markets tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing some player props. Appreciate you guys. As always, questions, email me, DM me. But otherwise, guys, have a fantastic evening, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.